Hey there, Altenew friends, it's Jaycee. After a month hiatus, I'm eager to share some interesting sources of inspiration from what I've experienced this past month. Creativity knows no bounds, so I hope you find a moment to reflect on what encourages the artist in you. Before we get into today's project, make sure you subscribe to the Altenew channel for more card making and paper crafting tutorials. My Perfect Pairings with Jaycee series explores crafting techniques that effortlessly blend sure-to-love new releases and well-loved Altenew favorites. If you love these kinds of crafty tutorials, hit the bell icon so you'll be notified of my videos airing on the 2nd and 4th Sunday. May 2024 was a period of change and opportunity for me. I recently changed my full-time work, but also got an opportunity to hang out with a lot of you at Simon's Create in Columbus, Ohio. Bridget, Casey, and I were an amazing duo at the Altenew table. I got to see many of you in person for the first time, and so many of you shared techniques, cards, and sources of inspiration for you. So with Build a Garden Branching Roses, I'm sticking to what I know and love, both in paper crafting and outside the craft room, to see how I compare both in this card. I picked the Branching Roses Build a Garden because I simply wanted to color without thinking too much of a color palette or an arrangement. In May 2024, I didn't make any cards, which is unconventional for me as a content creator. Getting back into the groove of things can be challenging if you've stepped away for a while. I'm keeping things simple for me by using layering stencils for the ease of use, and the color palette source of inspiration will come by later in this video. But for now, I'm using the Fresh Dye Ink bundle from April 2024 as my easy and simple color palette. Before I get into the coloring process more, I'm stamping the large branch outline in permanent black ink. The cardstock I have in the Stampwheel is cut to 7.5 square inches and is a smooth white cardstock. Once I get a solid outline, I'll trace the outline of the image in Firefly Artist Marker. This is from the Sunshine Valley Garden Artist Marker set. I don't want the white outline to show when die cut, but I also don't want to fussy cut this image. I'm doing this green outline to help blend what I anticipate to be my background later in this video. I'm also using the image on the add-on die set for the Build a Garden Branching Roses to reference the die cut offset. At Simon's Create, Bridget and I were talking about the 9x12 inch sticky mat. This mat is intended to give you so much more room to hold your ink pads, hold your cardstock, and stencils in place without using so much of your satin masking tape. I have been reluctant to open mine because I want to keep it pretty forever, but I know that doesn't do anyone good if it's just sitting unused. So here I go trying something new, and now I'm able to hold this large piece of cardstock, stencils, and ink pads all on the same surface. Altenew makes the layering stencils easy to use by keeping your layers in numerical order, but sometimes I like to use the stencils out of order to play with different values and to get an idea of how I want certain elements to look. Since this image is mostly foliage, I didn't want just a flat spread of green on the card. I'm mixing gradients and shades from Green Valley Fresh Dye Ink and the Mini Ink Blending Brush set to get interesting sheens and finishes of the rose leaves. I'm using darker values to make stems darker and leaving white highlights at the tips of leaves for that sun-kissed glow. Then I'll move on to the flower images of this set. Following the same idea with the leaves, I'm trying to create dynamic shadows by adding dark layers to contrast bright highlights. Aside from the inspiration image I'll show in a bit, this yellow rose and small purple hardy geranium grouping is a complementary color palette. So we know that this color mix is going to look beautiful together. Altenew's Fresh Dye ink pads come super saturated. You'll see me pick up ink and tap a little bit off on the cardstock so that I slowly build layers. Here's the finished blended branching rose. I'll use the add-on die set to cut out this image in one go. I missed this little piece of white cardstock with a marker, so I filled it in. At Simon Says Create, I heard how so many of you use unconventional, non-craft related items to make your cards. A circulating theme I saw was using mail packaging in your cards and layouts. Altenew has their beautiful tissue paper, bubble mailers, boxes, and you all showed me gorgeous cards using them. I have had a rose catalog in my possession for a few weeks. I got this when I purchased a few bare root roses for my garden. I love to admire these images in the handbook and imagine what it would be like to stroll in these scenes. So then I ended up putting these two thoughts together. What if I used a panel of one of the images and paired it with some gorgeous florals? In fact, if you couldn't already tell, the color palette in this image is nearly identical to the April 2024 Fresh Dye Ink release. I could instantly see Green Valley, Pocketful of Sunshine, and Enchanted Garden in this image. I arranged the Build a Garden branching rose image on top of this rose panel. I'm not so concerned about covering focal images when pairing these two items together. I want this card to look like a realistic floral scene, but have that decoupage handmade feel. I used layers of foam tape to help raise the branching roses images toward you, and let the catalog image support and frame the ink blended roses. I thought, what better way to anchor these layers together than with some pure white ink spray splatter. I put a lot to ensure that there is no disconnect between the crafted roses and the photo background. Then I foam mounted the sentiment stamped from Hydrangea Fresh Dye ink. This is one of the sentiments in this month's Build a Garden, and I used the add-on die set to cut it out. There is an Enchanted Garden enamel dot set to coordinate with the ink, but I don't have it, so I'll use shades of purple because it's close enough. And that finishes this different kind of perfect pairing, using non-crafty items to pair with your Altenew favorites. I can't wait to try this on more rose images from the catalog that I have, and I bet you can find similar images in magazines or gorgeous packaging you own. My series encourages you to shop your existing Altenew stash and rekindle their love with newer releases. Perfect Pairings with Jaycee airs on the Altenew channel every second and fourth Sunday of the month. Please make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Perfect Pairing episode with me, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.